Hey, everybody, I'm Captain Tommy Scovill, and you are on the lifeboat. I don't think I'm muted now. Can I get a 5x5 from somebody so that I know that I'm not an idiot? And maybe a little volume. That's all right. Sound good. Okay. There's my 5x5. You know what? I didn't do the pumpkin pie thing. Yesterday was a bit of a disappointing day in terms of food for Thanksgiving. I just felt like hammered poop, to be honest with you, and couldn't get out of my own way. 5x5, monk, but monk, 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 monk. The 5 means that on a scale from 1 to 10, my audio is coming through at a 5, and on a scale of 1 through 5, my video is coming through at a 5. That's what the 5x5 reference is to normally. Hello, fans. Say Nancy, good to see you. Glad that you're here. We are, people. My brother Johnny makes a excellent point. We do listen, and I got a ton of you have reached out to talk about internet and internet problems that we have here. We have upgraded this internet twice. Sadly, that's not getting it done. So we're going to do something else, and we're going to be on that today. Noise Opera, thank you, my friend. Beautiful way to start the day. I appreciate you. We're going to be working on the internet part of it, people. I appreciate your patience. We recently moved. There was never a problem. The high speed in Nevada was incredible. You could, it was just a really excellent service provider in terms of internet. This is not, although I live in the city of Tucson, I do not live in the city of Tucson. I live in the Catalina foothills, so I'm kind of up in the sticks a little bit. So the internet's not great, but we're working on that, I promise. Today, people, if you saw the thumbnail, I want to talk about broken is a term that people don't like much, right? Everybody wants to be fixed and to be perfect, and there is a guru waiting around every corner to tell you that you're perfect exactly how you are. Just how you are today, you are perfect. They're full of crap. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. And you sure as hell aren't perfect the way you are. You need a hell of a lot of work, right? We're broken. The trouble becomes this. As human beings, we get wildly off course, right? And we think things make us broken that don't make us broken. For instance, we struggle in social situations. We have we're very shy. We don't like being around people. Makes us super uncomfortable. And we believe that makes us broken, right? It doesn't. It's something that you obviously need some work on, but it doesn't make you broken. Unfortunately, when we feel broken, we try to fix ourselves. And we very often do that with booze, right? Or we do it with drugs. So you have 3 or 4 beers to take the edge off before you have to go into a social situation. And it just makes it easier, right? Just makes it easier. The trouble is that very often it starts to make it easier to go to work too. It starts making it easier to be a dad, right? Or whatever else you're doing. And it spirals out of control. And things that weren't broken, that just needed a little bit of tweaking, lead us into situations where we go down the road of addiction and find ourselves ass over tea kettle, right? That's kind of how it goes down. In a perfect world, we live with the things that don't make us broken, but that make us different, right? I am very attracted to women, okay? And I feel fortunate that it worked out that way. If, however, I had been born attracted to men, that wouldn't have made me broken. It would have made me gay. Society, however, has done years of making people feel broken. And so they go and try to fix that feeling of brokenness, that feeling of being uncomfortable in our own skin. You know, we talk about this a lot on the boat, right? This is something that we talk about all the time, the discomfort, that feeling that we get that others feel uncomfortable in our own skin. And we feel like we need to do something to make it better. And sadly, we very rarely take the steps that would make life better, right? For instance, if you're not as successful as you would have liked to have been in life, let's say you're 35 or 40 years old, and you're thinking to yourself today, I haven't made enough money. I don't live where I want to live. I don't own my own home. Whatever your list of complaints are, right? If you take that list and you write it down and you fold it up and you put it in a desk drawer and you don't do crap other than tuck it away, and you go back and pull it out 2.5 years from now, do you think the list is going to change much? Honestly, it's not. And very often, if we start feeling like maybe we're not as successful as we wish we were, that starts making you feel broken or uncomfortable in your own skin. People, you know what? Be broken. I'm broken to beat hell. I really am. I'm more broken than anyone you're ever going to meet. And I'm pretty honest about it. You know what's funny is I share a type of broken with my friend Aaron. We have fuses that are a little shorter than we would like them to be. Doesn't cause us to kill people, right? It doesn't cause us problems like that. But over the course of my life, I've probably pulled the trigger faster than I should have. And I don't mean that literally, I mean it figuratively. I've said things before I really gave it a lot of thought, right? And I don't mean that where when you say, oh, I can't believe I said that. No, I took a lot of time to think of the meanest possible thing that I could say, artfully destroying someone. What I didn't do was take a lot of time thinking about what it would do to that person, right? I love it. Noise opera. I love it. I really do. He says, I'm planning on starting my channel over to make it more of a truth channel and a support the lifeboat too. I love it. There are not enough channels out there that simply provide a place that people can come and be treated with respect, right? Especially if what we're all trying to do is make ourselves better, which can be a very difficult proposition. Borderline. Good to see you, man. It's a difficult proposition to try to make yourself better. It is, especially when you believe you're broken. If you don't journal, by the way, you're broken. For real. If you're not journaling, people, if you're not journaling, nothing that I tell you today is going to do anything for you. Hear that? You can hang out. You can talk to the people in the comment section. We can have a good time. But if you're not journaling, I promise you that you're not going to get diddly out of what I'm snot. Good to see you. You're not going to get out of what I'm talking about what you should. Because if you want to find out the difference between broken and different, you're going to do it with a piece of paper and a pen, right? I'm broken in that I suffer with the inability to be patient in situations that shouldn't be an issue. The smallest things in the entire world set me off in ways that would make you uncomfortable to be around me. Not because you think I'm going to hurt you or anything like that, but just I'm not fun to be around. And I know that. And it's cost me business partners and it's cost me friends. It's a part of who I am. And I'm working on it. I'm working on it on a daily basis. I'm not working on it by getting high. I'm not working on it by taking medications that are going to make it so that I don't get pissed off. Because to me, that's not fixed, right? That's a great journal prompt idea. What do you think broken is? Right? Well, here's the deal, people. For the longest time, I used to say, I'm broken and I need a fix. It was a standard joke in my life. It's not very funny when you think about it. I'll throw some prayers out for that Snot. Snot rescues animals very often from places that, have farms for foxes so that they can turn them into coats and whatnot. She does heroic work. So if we could get some thoughts and prayers for that, that would be great. Thanks, Snot, for all that you do. But if you're not writing stuff down, if you're not putting pen to paper, then you're going to have a difficult time in moving forward and trying to live your best possible life, because it's a difficult thing to do. Our biggest problem, in my humble opinion, is that it is very, very easy to get into a groove where you can go, holy hell, it's July of 2028, right? We just continue to do the things that we do, and we get into such a rhythm that years fly by, and we find ourselves going, what in the hell have we done? Have we done anything? And that's a tough pill to swallow. At 46 years of age, I came to the realization that the legacy that I had left this earth was I had stolen a colossal amount of money, right? And left a bunch of victims in the wake. Um, that was that was the legacy that I was going to leave behind. I did have two beautiful children. I had not done much to make them beautiful children, right? This is where I was. And fortunately, I started putting pen to paper, right? Journaling became something that there were days I journaled for 5 hours, 6 hours. During lockdowns, there were days that's all that I did. Stand for truth. I have days where I feel like that. And one of I'm gonna put that up there just real briefly because anybody watching this later won't know what I'm talking about if I don't. I've said on here before that I think one of my favorite expressions for a very long time was F my life. I didn't use the letter F, obviously, but F my life became such an expression that it was a mantra. There was a bump in the road. If I spilled a little coffee, taking it out of the microwave. Right, I lived in prison. We didn't have coffee makers, but if I spilled a little coffee, getting it out of the microwave, it was F my life. If anything didn't go right, and I started to realize that I was actually programming that into my life. It was an attitude that I took into everything. Hey, Kelly, this happens a lot right now, this time of year. Kelly Smith says, I'm feeling down. And you know what? This is a very difficult time of year for all of us. I struggle with this time of year. I've talked about this a lot. And for years, Joe, that you know, good to see you, bud. It was everything that I could do to get through the holidays without hurting myself. I got to a point where, honestly, there was one year in particular that sticks in mind because I lived with a cellmate that I cared about, which very rarely happened. More often than not, the people that you get celled up with, just you have to coexist with, and you do what you can to do that. I got somebody that was a good, solid human being and somebody that I really cared about. And I remember saying to him, don't let me unalive myself this season, because it was such a bitch. And I thought that when I left being incarcerated, that I would love the holidays, that it would be, like the good old days as a kid. And I would start feeling in November, the sense of wonder, that you used to get. I don't get it at all. I hate the holidays. And I'm sorry to say that. It's a terrible thing to say out loud, but I do. I don't like the holidays. I find them more stressful than I do. I don't get the joy out of it that I used to. What I get is stress. And on the bright side, I'm just not buying into it, and I'm not feeding into it, and I'm not going to allow it to be a part of my life. And I'm going to suggest that you do the same. For real. We have the right as human beings. Forget the fact that we're drug addicts and we have other issues. But we have the right as human beings to go, you know what? This doesn't feel good. Sorry. Doesn't feel good. Which means I'm leaving. No hard feelings. I hope you guys have a great day, right? Connection is important, people. But if connection is rubbing you like you're against sandpaper, then maybe that's not the connection that you need, right? Connection is supposed to make you feel good. Connection is supposed to be something that, in theory, might actually bring a smile to your face. I'm sorry, Maxine. I get it. I really do. I really do. And you know what? As we get into the holidays, automatic negative thoughts, ants, double their efforts. Make no mistake. After spending a lot of time with nothing but time on my hands and journaling, I have found that automatic negative thoughts in my life double during the holidays. They will tell me everything wrong with me. They will tell me how I screwed up the previous 52 holidays, right? Even the ones I wasn't around for. I promise you, the automatic negative thoughts, 2 years old. Somehow you figured out a way to screw that one up. It will literally drag me across the coals. That's what is going to happen. It starts in November. It ends on January the 2nd. And if you're a longtime boat person, you know that January 2nd around here is a hell of a lot of fun because we have a different attitude. The entire boat changes. It's just how it is, right? It's normal. But because of automatic negative thoughts, because automatic negative thoughts are going to be doing number to you the entire damned holiday season, right? What you end up with, the ability and the opportunity to take a very hard look at all of the things that you think make all of the things that you think make you broken. I have a real job, people. I shouldn't say that. I had a real job. These days, I don't do it nearly as much as I used to. I spend a lot of time doing the lifeboat. It's become a full-time gig. But I'm a watch guy, right? I buy, I sell, and I repair vintage watches. And it's funny how things that we look at in life as aging, right? Scarring, they use words like patina, right? And things that you might call a defect actually make things more desirable for a collector than anything else on earth, right? If we have any watch people, in the 100, I don't know, this morning, but I have watch people that watch my channel, and there is older watches used to illuminate at night by using radioactivity, right? They would actually paint radium onto the numbers, and that would cause them to light up. Horrible stories about what it did to the women that used to paint radium. They made a movie and wrote a book about it. Awful stuff. Caused cancer. Terrible. They then went to something called tritium. The reason that I bring this up is when you take radiation and you keep it inside a small little airtight, hermetically sealed container, it begins to cause the insides to suffer scarring, right, from radiation. It is unique. Nothing else on planet Earth will do this, right? Like the old practice of fixing shattered pottery with gold. Yes, I've done shows about this specifically, and we'll probably touch on that later. This is a watch that, by definition, it's not a particularly valuable watch. By watch standards, this is not a particularly valuable watch. But that dial, right, should not be brown. That dial, in fact, when it originally came out, can you see it? It's two different colors there. When it originally came out, this dial was just a light champagne color. The radiation has turned it what they call tropical. And it has taken a watch that's worth maybe $150 and made it worth about $1,300. Why? Because there's not another one like it. Even if there's 5,000 of them out there, how much radiation the girl painted on that watch made that happen? Chances are she didn't paint the exact same amount of radiation in the exact same way on any other watch. And it causes these things to be more desirable and collectible than you could possibly imagine. There's a company called Audemars Piguet. This is one of their watches, right? That is a Royal Oak. That dial, the face, should be jet black. If it was jet black, that watch would be worth about $35,000 to $40,000. Because of the fact that that watch aged the way that it did, the gentleman selling that is asking $250,000, and he'll get it. It's beautiful because there's nothing else in the world that got scarred quite like that. The lifeboat is full of a crap load of patina. There's no place on earth that you're going to find more people with more interesting patina than you're going to find on the deck of the lifeboat. We are broken. But I like to think we're broken in the same way as that watch I just showed you, right? We're all still ticking. We might not look the way we did or the way we were designed to, for that matter. Someday, you guys are going to get a chance to meet me. It's guaranteed, right? Well, we're going to put some shows on. We're going to drive across the country. There are going to be some things that we do, and a decent number of you I'm probably going to get to meet in person. You will notice very quickly my arms. It's uncomfortable. It's something that I notice when people meet me. It is what it is. I did a lot of heroin, and my arms show it. It is absolutely amazing just how scarred up my arms are from needles, and it's exquisite. It's a patchwork quilt of abscess, scars, and track marks. And it's fucked up as it is at this point. I wouldn't change it for the world. I am absolutely broken, but I have been painted back together with gold, much like the art that he's speaking of. He or she, I apologize, I have no idea. I'm not very good at this. But the old practice of fixing shattered pottery with gold it's very popular. It's done. It's a Japanese art. Tommy, what's the watch with the most interesting movement or way it functions that I have worked on or owned? That's a hell of a question. A bit off subject, but I'm famous for a bit off subject. I have worked on a minute repeater. I have not successfully finished the minute repeater. I will be working on it forever, maybe someday. But it is a watch that was made a very, very long time ago. And when you pull a lever on the side of it, it's a pocket watch. It will hit strikers on the inside of the watch to tell you what time it is. Because at 4:00 in the morning, right, 200 years ago, if you wanted to know what time it was, you had to light a match, right? Get the candle burning so that you could then or you could roll over, pick up your minute repeater if you were very wealthy, and pull a little lever on the side, and it would make a certain sound for the number of hours. Ding, ding, ding. And then it would do a sound for the quarter of an hour, and then it would do a minute. And that is a minute repeater. It is a very, very complicated movement. And because of how old it is, I am having to find parts and pieces. And I probably honestly will work on it for the rest of my life. I don't know whether or not it will ever be repaired, but I am certainly going to keep trying. That would be the most interesting watch I've ever worked on. All of us people, all of us are some of the most interesting people that you would ever want to meet. We really are. Have you ever sat down with a square? I'm not trying to be a jackass. I really am not. But have you ever sat down with somebody that has never made a mistake? Have you ever sat down with one of those people that when they tell you their life is like, so what did you do? Well, after high school, I went to I went to college and then med school, and then I did this, and you just think to yourself, good God, you spent 28 years in school. That's absolutely amazing. It's impressive as hell. It really is. During that 28 years, the damage and the scars and the patina that I did inside here probably doesn't compare to the patina that's in the skulls of half of you here. It's odd when you have some clean time. People assume you don't need support the same way. Isn't that funny, Debbie? Isn't that funny? You need the same amount of support, right? Because the only day that matters is today, right? How many days have you got sober? Today. Right? 8 years ago, I started this, but today's the only day that matters, right? There's a great line from The Frighteners. My body is a roadmap of pain. Such a fun film. I don't know that I ever saw the film. I like the line. Of course, doesn't compare with the greatest line in the history of any film ever written. And of course, I mean, from Roadhouse, the great Patrick Swayze, pain don't hurt. Pain don't hurt. So, journaling. There's a reason we do it, right? Scientifically, the reason that we do it is it helps us sleep. We get the stuff in our head out of our head. When we go to sleep, we dream differently. It helps us organize thoughts before we go to sleep so that our dreams are not as haphazard and that we actually work through what we need to work through from what happened to us during the day. That's the purpose of dreaming, right? That's the theory. So in the morning, you may not have finished all that dreaming. So what we want to do is make sure that anything that didn't get finished, we get down on paper. Might not make sense. Doesn't have to. Just write in the morning after your sleep, whatever comes to your head. Okay, you really got to do. And the other kind of journaling is the stuff that helps you peel the onion to find out whether or not you're broken or you're broken, right? Because there are breaks that aren't going to be treated. The track marks on my arms aren't going away. The scars are not going away. None of that is ever going to go away. That's one of those things going to be with me forever. However, I also struggle with depression, and I'm taking medication for it. The medication does wonders. See, I'm not broken. That's not broken. That's in need of assistance, right? There are all kinds of things that we can do now. We live in a society for real. As much as we all freaking hate big pharma, because without it, a lot of us never would have become drug addicts, right? I get that. Not a big fan of big pharma. You've seen me do how many shows? I hate big pharma. However, there's a ton of good that comes from the medical community, especially now moving into the recovery aspect. We're learning more about addiction and recovery from the medical side of things. We're learning more faster than we've ever done. And that's exciting. You know, maybe there's a day coming where there'll be a treatment that is medical. Right? Maybe someday that they'll just be able to give you a shot. Your addiction will go away. Wouldn't that just be the business? Right? In the meantime, you know, I hate big pharma too. But if you need to be on lithium for bipolar, then you need to be on lithium for bipolar. Right? I need Bupurion, right? I need it. It helps me stay on a very even keel so that I'm less of a jackass, right? I don't like being an idiot. I don't like being cruel. I don't like treating people. I like being a nice guy. And the crazy thing is this: you're not going to run into people who say, "Boy, the guy was such a jerk when I met him." I'm not that guy. But when the door shuts, right, I'm going to be screaming, and I'll be screaming with nobody else around, and I might be throwing crap because that's who I am. That's my broken. That's my demon. I'm a guy that swallows stuff that he shouldn't. Right, I do it all the time, and we all tend to do it. Right, it's logical. Something comes up and it bothers you, and you think to yourself, "I'm going to tell my mate that this bothers me because she does it all the time, or he does it all the time, and I'm going to tell them, and maybe we can just get this to stop." And you get in the car and you sit down and you go, "You know what? Nothing. Never mind." And we put it away. It's this big. It's a small piece of crap. It's nothing, right? But we put it in the closet with all the other small piece of crap that we just keep throwing in there, right? And when you start piling that stuff up, eventually it starts to weigh on you. And recently, I had about 4 years of all of the stuff I stuck in the closet, kicked the closet door open. Right. And I've been open about this. I had to go and see a doctor. And for what I would call a medical emergency. You know, I don't know what the medical community would call it. A mental emergency is what I had. And I am consciously trying to swallow less. I'm consciously trying to make an effort to communicate better with the people in my life so that I do not find myself doing that again in 3 or 4 years. One of the other things is that if one of the things that makes you different, if one of the things that makes you broken is that you have a very short fuse, the medical community would like to treat that. in a way that is logical, right? This person gets pissed all the time. This person's got way too short a fuse. They can't keep themselves on an even keel. You know what they need is Valium. Because you want a cat on an even keel, Valium is the business for keeping you on an even keel. Unfortunately, it's a benzodiazepine. It's addicting to beat hell, right? And if you cold turkey it, it can kill you. One of those unique drugs that if you are on it long enough, being without it will cost you your life. Oh, that's a frightening damn thing, isn't it? I mean, if that's the cure, I think I'd rather just deal with the problems, right? The symptoms aren't that bad. Well, that's kind of life, isn't it? For real. Because your other method or my other method, we won't pick on you. 27 years. Wow. Good for you. That is absolutely incredible. 27 years. That is impressive. Congratulations, people. I hope that gives everybody hope, huh, people? Nancy, congratulations. People, is that hope? 27 years. All right, people. So, what we've been doing, and again, I'll pick on me, not you. Here's what I did. I treated my problem. Okay? I had problems. I felt like I was stupid. I really did. I felt like I had a really bad learning disability. I didn't think I was as smart as other people. My biggest fear in the world was people were going to realize I was stupid. That this kind of show that I had that made people think I was a lot smarter than I was going to get found out. And I used drugs as a way to put that feeling to bed, right? That became my treatment. I didn't see a doctor. I took care of it myself, right? Now my life is figuring out how to do the exact same damn thing without the heroin. That's it. That's my life. That's going to be your life. That's going to be everybody's life who got sober. Because what we did was we said, we're broken. I'm going to fix myself. I did it with a needle. You might have done it with a bottle, right? You might have done it with a pipe. It doesn't matter what you did it with. You could have done it by eating too much. You could have done it by not eating enough. You could do it by a 14 parlay, right? Or $2,000 on the other. Whatever your addiction is, it is a way of us unsuccessfully trying to treat the problems that we think we have. That's it. There's your life in a nutshell, right? My life in a nutshell, right there. That's it. That's where we're at. So, are you broken beyond repair? I am. But I have learned, no lie, I have learned that I'm comfortable as hell being broken. I really am. Not only am I comfortable being broken, there's a part of me that has learned to celebrate the parts of me that are broken. I honestly have gotten to a point in my life where I realize that the things that I ran from, the things that scared me the most about me, the things that make me unique, may be my best attributes. My ability to say to people, you know what, I have a learning disability probably helps more people than me talking about drugs. Seriously, there's one individual in particular, and I hope he sees this. Because I know of a gentleman out there, a young man, who's living the life that I lived. He's a communicator from hell. The kid's a public speaker. But he learns the way that I did. And thank God his dad has a handle on where he's at. Because this kid could be the president of the United States. We're all different, right? I'm all about celebrating diversity. I really am. I know friends that are going to laugh their ass off when they hear that. But I mean it. I love what makes us different. I do. Providing that every one of us has the ability to love what makes us the same. The lifeboat works beautifully because it doesn't matter whether you're black, white, Indian, whatever, right? We're all addicted. We're all wanting to make ourselves better people. There is the universal that brings us all together, right? The price of admission is that we are kind to one another. Yeah, that we're kind to one another and that everybody here is pulling in the same direction. That's all. That's what makes all of us the same. Now we can celebrate all of the things that make us unique. It's a really easy freaking concept, isn't it? Seriously. You could start with, boy, water's great to drink, isn't it? Can't really live without that stuff. Fun to eating. Don't you love a good meal? Right? And then we can work from there, start working our way out. There's so much every one of us has in common. We're not very good at concentrating on it. For all of you who sent me emails with suggestions about my treatment for the C+ math, can we say COVID now? You think they're going to bury this video from me saying that? Has it been long enough? Anyway? I don't know that that's what I had. The symptoms kind of look like that. I don't know. But you know, I had it once before. You always preferred the island of broken toys. The island of misfit toys? Was it broken toys or was it misfit toys? Do you remember, Johnny Scoville? You thought it was misfit? I did too. Wow. Keyboard Warrior 47. Hey, everybody. Are you ready for a party lifeboat style? Huh? Boy, am I glad I friggin' missed this. This, people, is a party lifeboat style. Congratulations to Keyboard Warrior 47. Good morning. Today is my day one. I've had many day ones in the past few months, but I haven't had a day 5. This is the first time I'm saying it loud here. Thank you, Lifeboat, for the encouragement. You know what? The most important day ever is day 1. Keyboard Warrior, I've had more day 1s than most people have had days high. I promise you. But you only need that one, right? The perfect relapse, right? The perfect relapse is the last relapse because it's the one that you learned. You're here. The fact that you're saying it out loud is really different. Do you understand that? You may not understand that. There's a lot of people here that do. There's a lot of people here right now who are pumping their fists in the air wherever they live because they know what a big damn difference it is. If you're sitting in the back saying, I'm not going to drink today, versus even if you're virtually saying it. Today is my day 1. It is a completely different thing, people. I'm not a 12-stepper. You know that, right? I'm not a 12-step guy. It's just not my get down. I got nothing against 12-step programs. I don't. But they're not my get down. That said, we came to admit that we had a problem, right? How do you admit you have a problem? I promise you say it out loud. You can write it down too. That'll do it. But you do have to say it. I remember saying it. And people used to say to me, man, don't you think you have a drug problem? I've been sticking needles in my arm every day for 15 years. Do I think I have a drug problem? Like I was one of those people that never, ever doubted that I had a wild drug problem. Nancy says, day 1, that is where all hope begins. I have had a lot of them too. Announcing that is letting go of false pride. Congrats. Nancy, that's a hell of a comment. It's a hell of a comment. And it is the perfect. You did a way better job than I did. I'm saying why it is so much more important to say it than just do it. It's false pride, right? When you say it out loud, you're admitting something that your pride didn't allow you to admit the day before. Yeah, I'm not going to drink today, but not because I'm one of these dudes. I mean, look at this jackass. He robbed banks, right? Obviously, I didn't spend 13 years of my life in prison, right? I just drink too much. We do that, don't we? Don't we all do that? Like I said, it was way easier for me. You know, when you have your coming to Jesus moment, in a cell wearing paper after having been life flighted off of a yard a couple of days earlier. Yeah, there wasn't much gray area for me. I really knew where I was. Keyboard warrior, man, oh man, I am so happy that you are here. I am so happy that you are letting us know that today is your first day. It's going to be a hell of a day. It really is. And do you know how I know that? How, Johnny Scoville?
Oh, maybe some shenanigans today.
Because we're going to make it one hell of a day. My brother Johnny eats hot things much larger YouTube channel than I do. Today we are going to be on his channel, and I think I may live stream it on this one as well. He can eat, his tolerance compared to mine is probably 10 to 1. I'm not exaggerating. There's nobody that has a tolerance that I've ever met like my brother. He's just a freak when it comes to hot things, right? He's Johnny Scoville. However, what he can't do is eat hot things fast, which I can. So I am going to, yes, I did say, Susie, that I would never eat a tube of terror again. I did. However, here's what happened. The trouble is this. The original clip of me doing my speed run, I can't find. The person that filmed it, the show that I was on, became one of those people that decided he didn't like me. So I don't have a clip of me breaking that record, right? I don't have that film. So I'll suffer that one more time. I don't think I'll do it 2 more times, but I'm going to try to do, I don't know that I'll get 43 seconds, but I'm going to give it a try. But I am going to do a Tube of Terror speed run, and my brother is going to be trying one with me. You know what? I did not see what this was in reference to. Candy. Let's go see Candy's life. Where are we at? Good morning, Brother Scovilles. There you are. You know, I didn't see it. But what I can tell you is this. I deal with people every single day without fail. A lot of them from the military. Who are people who suffer from survivor guilt. Drug addicts do as well, especially people who used needle drugs, who, they're alive and nobody they did dope with is alive. There are people who really struggle with this. And the people that come back from the military who lose friends over there, the thing that we try to concentrate on always is let's just for 1 second put yourself and switch shoes. God forbid, right? You had been left over there, and your friend had come home. How would you want them to live? How would you want them to spend the remainder of their life? Because nobody answers that question pining. I want them to spend the rest of their life in pain, thinking about the fact that they're alive. That's what I want. That would make me happy, right? Nobody answers that. Of course, that's not. Candy, the number of people that who unaliving themselves. Isn't it amazing you can't even say that word on this channel without? But before I badmouth the big red button, I think that I would be remiss if I did not say this. In the first 2 years that we were a channel, I think there were 5 videos that monetized fully, where anybody could run an ad. Every other one was on a restriction because we talk about drugs. It took the big red button 2 years to finally realize I'm not telling you to get high, right? It took them 2 years, but they monetize every one of our videos now. So I am not mad at the big red button. I will say that. But the number of people that I have known who have unalived themselves is frightening. And I guess it makes sense because if you wake up one day just too tired to steal, or you wake up one day and you're just, I knew a guy who was a booster. He was a heroin addict, and he wasn't a friend, but occasionally he would get in the car and go with us when we would go steal. He was good at it. He was a booster, and we would go into the mall and he would disappear. His thing was Levi's jeans, and he would come out with 4 or 5 pair of them. And I used to think to myself at the time, what an idiot this old dude is. Seriously, what are you going to sell a pair of Levi's for? Like, I just thought he was the dumbest person in the entire world. What I didn't realize, because I was young and stupid, was that to the people from Navarrete, Mexico, who were delivering the dope, a pair of Levi's jeans was like a Rolex watch, and what they were giving him. But anyway, one day he got caught, and as happens, and I'm sure it was probably 50th, 100th arrest, who knows, 200th arrest. He was a booster. He got caught a couple times a month. But he couldn't face another kick in the county jail. And he used a sheet and was able to slam at the door when the cops were coming around to lock it, and was able to hang himself from the door. And I remember being affected by that person's unaliving himself, like really affected. I remember it freaking me out how much I thought about it. And at the time, I couldn't, I guess I wasn't self-aware enough to realize that it was scaring the crap out of me that I was looking at myself 25 years down the road, or 30 years down the road. I had been there. I had been there so many times where I thought to myself, I would rather not live than have to go through another day of being dope sick. People, you don't have to be dope sick again. If you're hearing my voice, and that's the reason that you're not getting sober, the medical community has got you covered. Seriously, you can do a 7-day detox where you're not even awake for it. There's so many different ways now that you can get sober without feeling a lick of pain, without feeling any withdrawal, without doing any of that. If you're still doing dope because you're afraid of withdrawal, do some freaking research. Medicine has got you covered. Nino says, hello, Johnny. Thanks a lot for your presence. I found and subscribed to your channel the day you had the interview on SBTV. Now I am on day 6, watching your channel every day. I don't know how to thank you. Well, I'm going to let you thank me in one way. You can call me Tommy. My brother is Johnny. He is the slightly older, grayer version. All right, look, I dyed the mustache and the handlebars. All right, just for men. I just don't like it in white, people. It makes me look like I'm old. It doesn't come in white, to be really honest with you. It just comes in not quite. You see that? That's what I'm talking about. So I have been known to occasionally darken it up slightly, but it's not like it's white and I turn it into this. I just darken it up a little bit. Kind of like a salt and pepper kind of a thing. Not quite as fast talking brother. See, there you go. Julie says, this place is so uplifting. So happy AA Rod brought me here. Is there a video that tells the captain's whole story? It sounds like he has lived 100 lives. Is there a video that tells the entire story? No, there's really not. I've done interviews with people where I did 3 and 4 hour interviews. I just recently did an interview with somebody that was about 5 hours that has not come out yet. But if you go back to the very beginning, the videos of the lifeboat, there's I tell my life story over the course of about 5 or 6 videos, I think, something like that. They're there somewhere. There's 1,300 videos. There's a lot of hair out there, but I'm not sure if I let it go. I was letting my hair grow out, but then nope, it's auburn again. Well, if my hair did grow in, it would not be gray. I'm kidding. When I had my ponytail, it was completely gray. I looked like George Carlin. at least once a day, somebody would say to me, "Do you know who you look like?" And I'd go, "Yeah, I know it." I am so stuffed up, people. Hold on 1 second. I apologize. No pressure at all. It's not ducking off camera and putting your schnoz that's pressure. It's the coming back part. You know what I mean? Because you're always like, oh no, right? I didn't leave anything there. That's the problem with the stash. Ian says, I like beard going gray. I think it is befitting of age and life experience, like old Asian karate man. You would get along perfectly with Johnny Scoville, who said something very similar to that. I'm not sure he said it as nicely as you did. I think you did a better job saying it, but that's what he said. I was telling Johnny why I went with the handlebar, right? Because we were discussing facial hair. Over the time that I've been on the lifeboat, I've done the beard, I've done all of it. Okay, so when I was a kid, I was diving on a diving board and I was jumping off like you would do a backflip, standing backwards, jumping off, but doing a 1.5 going forward. And I hit my face on the diving board, right? Because you got to come close to the board if you're going to get the rotation. You go too far out, you never make the dive. So you kind of got to jump straight up and do it. Well, I came down and hit my face on the diving board. And you know how it has that grip tape stuff on there. It's like sandpaper. Well, it did me in right here. Like I had this horrible spot where I had no skin. And my grandfather, I got out of the pool crying. I was going to run back into the house. And he said to me, get back on that diving board and do that again. I have never been more angry at a human being in my life. Mean. He was a genius, of course. You know, I didn't realize that at the time. But what he did was he made sure that I was not going to be afraid to dive again. And I wasn't. I continued to dive. But anyway, this does not, for years, it didn't grow in.
It's like the Seiko Patina, dude.
It's like the Seiko Patina. So for years, it didn't grow in right here. Okay. And then it did. And when it did, it came in a different color. And Johnny's like, oh, that's great. I'm like, no, it's not. I end up looking like squirrel. So I shaved this part here. And then every once in a while, once every 7 or 8 months, maybe just a slight touch up with the Just for Men. Once a year, something like that. You knocked the tooth out running high hurdles. How does that happen? Did you catch a hurdle and go down? Or did you catch yourself in the face with your knee? Because when you see people jump hurdles, I always wonder if they ever rack themselves. Seriously, you ever watch that? Like, how do you get your leg up there? The speed, the speed at which they do. Oh, that's happened. Make no mistake, that's happened. Johnny said at some point, somebody caught their junk. It had to happen. You end up looking like squirrel. That's right. It's just like a patchwork quilt of different hair color. You kind of look like that, which looks fantastic on Squirrel Nut Zipper, but it's not such a great look on me.
For years, it was red on this side and dark on this side. Now it's just bone white.
Yeah. Johnny was saying his used to come in different on each side. Like one side was reddish. Now he looks like Santa. But that's I like the way he put it.
Is Gandalf the White of the pepper community.
He is the Gandalf the White of the pepper community. I broke off my front tooth diving into a shallow pool. Oh my goodness.
Wow. That was a gift.
Wow. Yeah, it is a gift. You could have been so much worse off. I was famous for my wipeouts. I sucked at them, to be honest, but my wipeouts were epic. Ben Turner, I love you.
Yeah, right.
For real. Do you love that? Hey, I played lacrosse. I played lacrosse because my dad was a lacrosse player, and we had so much fun throwing around the lacrosse ball. And I was like, you watch me with a lacrosse stick and a lacrosse ball, and you'll go, that dude can play lacrosse. Like right-handed, left-handed, I can do anything with a lacrosse stick. For whatever reason, I cannot play lacrosse. Like I suck at it. I am not very good at it. Like once you put in the whole, there are people running around, like the game was no longer a lot of fun. I really enjoy throwing the thing, but Yeah, I played lacrosse and I was awful at it. I really was. I continued to play because I did have a good time, but I sucked. I was terrible at it. That was one of those sports that I did. And I'll tell you, but you know what sport I'm the worst at? Well, if you had to pick one sport that you were worse at than anything, what would you say it is?
Golf.
Golf? Oh, that's it. That really is what you're going to go with?
No.
The first time he ever played, he shot at 83. I got to hear this story.
Hang on. Let me think of what diving. I said.
Yeah, maybe that's a good one. Diving. Okay. You know what it is for me?
What?
Surfing. Do you know, yeah, Johnny can surf. And all of the time, which sounds like the name of a band, doesn't it?
Johnny can
I'm
surf.
going down Saturday. So and so is opening for Johnny Can Surf. That sounds like the name of a band, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's like a crappy punk band. Johnny Can Surf. Anyway, Johnny can surf. I cannot, and I have made the attempt. It's not like I haven't tried to surf. I have attempted to surf on multiple occasions in multiple places. Somebody once said to me, "Your problem is that you've never been in a place where you just had good, consistent, solid waves that you could go far around on, because that would make life perfect. And then it would make sense to you because I'm a really good skier and I snowboard like even like the first time I stood on a snowboard. I'm not being a jerk. I really am not. But the first time I stood on a snowboard, I was good at it. It's very if you can ski and you've done it for a long time, you can pick up snowboarding in an hour because there's two less edges. It's a very easy sport. But anyway, for a skier, love it. So I thought I ought to be able to do this. No. Then I went to Australia and I went to Bondi Beach and I had a guy there rented me a board, all this stuff. But he explained to me that you are never going to see a better day ever. He said the sets of waves, the way they're coming in. So the person who said to me, what you need is that perfect set of waves that just come one right after the other. Well, here it was. Here was that perfect set of waves. And after about, I don't know, 35, 40 minutes, I went back in. I stuck the surfboard into the sand the way people do. And then I went to a bar across the street called the Burdekin. And I watched people who knew how to surf for the rest of the day. They were good at it. Me, not so much. I drank enough Bloody Marys that day. It's amazing I'm still here. What? Wow. Your ex used to bite your face. Good God, Tracy. I really hope that somewhere right now, something horrific is happening to him. That's what I tried surfing once. Epic, epic fail. Valerie, if it makes you feel better, you did better than I did. Believe that. And I tried multiple times. I cannot do it.
An expert trained me. I tried to help you. That's the reason.
Well, I mean, maybe that's it. I don't know, but oh, Susie, I'm sorry to hear that. Can we get some thoughts and prayers for Susie's mom who fell yesterday? That's a crap thing to happen on Thanksgiving. I'm sorry to hear that. I really am. Did you hear what Seven just said? I'm leaving this one up there, Seventh. This may be the funniest thing you've ever said. Someone please help me. I'm way too young to be this old on it. Yeah, I get that. Boy, I get that. You know, I believe it said I would never want to date a woman old enough to be my wife. Class act. All right, peeps. I'm Captain Tommy. We'll be back today. I'm going to be doing a speed run on a tuba terror. So if you get an announcement and it's not the normal 5 o'clock number, it's going to be me doing something silly. And this is a cat in the basket. Can you see the head? Oh, see my internet. All right, everyone. We'll see you on the next one. Adios.